بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا وسيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أما بعد فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله وأحسن الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم وإن شر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. There is no doubt that everybody is looking forward for the coming month, the month of Ramadan, which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made it to come once a year, in which Allah Azza wa Jal had elevated this month by making it the month of the Quran, and also Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala elevated this month on the tongue of the Prophet ﷺ when he said Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would set people free from the hellfire on every single night of Ramadan, and we ask Allah Azza wa Jal to be one of those people whom Allah will set free from the hellfire. And also we find that Allah Azza wa Jal had made this month is to be the best of all months by making the gates of paradise to be open and locking up all the gates of hellfire and locking up all the powerful shayateen, in which we understand from that it is not like what some people think. If a person dies in the month of Ramadan, it is better than dying other than the month of Ramadan. There is no such thing. The Prophet of Allah did not die in the month of Ramadan. And there is no such thing that if a person died in the month of Ramadan, he will have his sins expiated or forgiven because of that the gates of the hellfire are closed. What it means basically that the gates of paradise are open, the gates of hellfire are closed, and a caller will be calling, "O seeker of good, come forward, and O seeker of evil, withhold." Meaning, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He would lock up that outside enemy, the shaitan, and He makes it as a training session for the believer. As soon as the month of Ramadan is finished, then the shaitan will be facing a new warrior, that is you, because you train yourself into the iman, you filled up yourself with taqwa, so he will find you as a hard target. It was not as easy as it was before. So this is why the month of Ramadan, and that is why we find tendency of the people to come to the masajid, come to the ibadah. People who never seen in their life, people who never thought they were Muslims, will come to the masjid in the first night. Why? Because of this. It's because of that, as I said, Allah Azza wa Jalla, He put a tendency in the hearts of the believers and the Muslims, regardless where they come from. That is, they will have that sort of zealous eagerness to come to the masajid and pray behind the imam. Verily, the bird will never fly except with two wings. And the two wings for every deed that you do in order to be accepted is number one, sincerity, and number two is the following of the Prophet ﷺ. And sincerity in itself, it doesn't need a knowledgeable person. If you are sincere, you could be sincere even in your bid'ah. Sincerity, that means you are seeking the pleasure of Allah. So I hope and I believe that the brothers who are knowledgeable, they're keen to come to the month of Ramadan with this sincerity, they are with sincerity, but they might do things that would scratch the sincerity. For example, in my experience, I come up a number of brothers, when you tell them, for example, you put on some weight, you say, yeah, well, Ramadan is coming. Just that saying that is an intention of you, that means you take Ramadan as a, you want to decrease your weight. You scratch your sincerity. So Ramadan is coming. It's a tendency that also people are saying it. Ramadan is coming, that means my weight is going to drop down. That's not really the month of Ramadan. Is the month for being on diet. If you think like this, you have lost it. So the month of Ramadan is actually to get extra heavy weight, not in materialistic food, but in taqwa, in spiritual matters. So you get heavier. You get closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You want to fill up as much taqwa as possible. That's what you need. Also, the second wing of the bird, which is the following of the Prophet of Allah. And this needs knowledge. And that's why we sit down to learn. So this bird will never fly if one of the wings are not there. The same thing, the ibadah will not be accepted if one of these two conditions are not there. So in order for me to make my Ramadan acceptable and maximize my rewards and maximize as well my sin burning, because this is called Ramadan. Ramadan means a sin burner. Then I need to learn how the Prophet ﷺ spent the days of Ramadan. If I know how did he do it, then I will be able to maximize my rewards. If I know how he did it, then I'll be able to follow him. So, how did the Prophet ﷺ follow he had taught us the guidance of fasting the month of Ramadan. Before entering the month of Ramadan, the Prophet of Allah used to sight the crescent. Sighting the crescent is an important issue. And I'm emphasizing this fact because if we don't really pay attention to it, lots of things can change in our religion. Sighting the moon, the crescent, the Prophet of Allah would command, look at me, command for people to sight the moon, the crescent, that is in the last 2 nights of Sha'ban. And it could be the following day, the 29th, it could be the 30th, and it could be the 1st of Ramadan. For the Sha'ban, it's either 29 or it's 30. And the Prophet of Allah, upon seeing the crescent, would command the companions to fast the month of Ramadan. Not only that, he will be satisfied with one witness, even though he's not known, an A'rabi. His name is not even mentioned in the hadith, came to the Prophet ﷺ and testified that he saw the crescent. So upon which the Prophet of Allah commanded the whole of the Medina to fast the following day. Abdullah ibn Umar, he was a teenager, not even a child in the eyes of the British law, because he's less than 18. He had testified to the Prophet ﷺ that he had seen and witnessed and sighted the crescent. And the Prophet ﷺ commanded the whole of the Medina to fast the month of Ramadan accordingly. Now, as I said, sighting the moon has to be done by people who are trustworthy and also capable of sighting the moon. And I mentioned before, that is, at the time of Umar al-Khattab, when he commanded a number of people to sight the moon, a person who was not being deputized to do so, an old man, came to the Prophet Umar and he said, I saw the moon, while the others did not report back seeing the moon. So Umar, when he went out with him, and he said, this is the crescent, and he said, where is it? Then there isn't anything. We looked at the man, because of his eyebrows and his thick, a piece of hair falling into his eye, he seemed like a crescent, thinking that he's seeing the crescent. So Umar al-Khattab did not take his sighting. Also, the sighting of the moon is to go along with what the Prophet ﷺ, he said, نحن أمة الأمي لا نعرف الكتاب ولا الحساب. We don't really know, we are illiterate ummah. It's not ignorant. Illiterate means we don't know the writing, nor we know the mathematics. It doesn't mean that we should not learn to write or read. It doesn't mean that we should not really learn maths. But the Sharia, when it came to people who are, most of them, they are illiterate. They don't read or write. And that is including the Prophet of Allah. And most of them, they don't know maths. They don't know the calculation or the astronomical calculations. So for us, the month is either 29 or 30. We see the crescent, then we will go with the beginning of the month. If we don't see the crescent, then it is the day we should continue the month. So in the month of Sha'ban, if you sight the moon in the night, the 30th night, we look. If we saw the moon, then tomorrow is the first day. If we did not see the moon, or the moon was blocked by a cloud, then we will say that tomorrow is the 30th of Sha'ban. We don't need to go to the conservatory and ask them with their powerful telescope to find out beyond the clouds or beyond the power of our eyes whether there is a crescent or not. And this is important. And we're not really going to ask the Ummah as well to hire planes and go and fly on top of the cloud in order to see that if there's a crescent or not. And this is very important because lately we have people taken scientific facts out to be the facts, whereas the Quran has to be twisted and as well to be understood in a way to suit those scientific facts. And I'll tell you. See, as I said, some people, they take the RamaDaan sighting as in calculation. So already they have set the month of Ramadan to start on Thursday. Already. They're not bothered about sighting. And you know that there was a fatwa coming from a person. It's not really good for me to mention his name because he's nothing and he's into the dustbin of history. When he dies, and even he's dead already, when he said that people don't have to fast this long day, this is a long day, you could just really break our fast according to the nearest Muslim country. So 6 o'clock, even the sun is in the middle of the sky, Saudi Arabia wrote the fast, then you could break your fast. You must have heard about this, coming from a person whom I have doubt about his Islam. Person who had, in the history, well, history doesn't really prove anything, that he was a person who we could really see that he's a good man. And now, wal'iyadu billah, coming up with these things. But maybe he doesn't know another thing, and I don't want him to know that thing because he might as well come up with it. Scientifically speaking, there's a philosophy says that when you see the sun on top of the mountain, scientifically speaking, it has not come out yet. Look at this philosophy. Scientifically speaking, he doesn't know that, by the way. Scientifically speaking, the sun is on top of the cloud, it's not on top of the cloud. What you're seeing is actually the reflection of the rays of the sun. That means if a person wakes up after the sunrise that we see, you could just say, no, brother, you could see, you still do the Fajr prayer because the sun had risen yet. It hadn't risen yet. This is what you see, but actually, scientifically speaking, the sun hasn't risen yet. I don't know if you heard about this philosophy or not. Alhamdulillah. But this person did not hear about it yet. So the scientifically speaking, it's not above the sun, above the canyon, above the mountain. It's actually the reflection of it. That means if a person wakes up now, well after the sunrise, this brother, don't worry, could do the Fajr because the sun scientifically hasn't risen. Also, scientifically speaking, they say that the Fajr that you had seen, the Fajr you look, the Fajr, no, this is not the real Fajr. The Fajr is before the Fajr by 20 minutes. You understand that now? The Fajr that you see, so now people will be, according to the scientific facts, praying Fajr before Fajr, which they're doing now these days. Because scientifically speaking, they are calculating Fajr according to these sun angles. So you come up with a Fajr time which is well in the night. 20 minutes, half an hour, 1 hour. Well in the night, and they say Fajr. 1:20 now in some of the masajid. You know that? Didn't you know that? Yeah. That went the masjids, 1:20. Don't you know that? 1:15 that one of the masjid. No. 1:15 one of the masajid. I'm not going to talk about it. Forget about the 2:15, that's a bit later. 1:15 in some of the masajid. It's a timetable, which I know about. So what are you going to do now? Scientifically speaking, you see. That's the problem. That's why we say we need to emphasize the word moon sighting. Because, also further than this, when the person in the hospital diagnosed that he's scientifically dead, his heart's still pumping, but scientifically he's what? Dead. So they phone you, we want your consent. You know why they want your consent? They want the bed empty. That's not what is true. They want another patient. Sign. So now we start burying the people without breathing. But they're scientifically what? Dead. See how dangerous the word scientific? That's what we say, moon sighting. With our own eyes. We don't see it. Cloud is there, I don't need a telescope. So the person is dead, I have to feed him. Dead, no pulse, bury him. Have we pulse there? And he just, no, scientifically he's dead there. That's what they say, scientifically speaking, he's dead. And we know for a fact, no number of cases, not a lot, but a number of cases, been said or proved to be, scientifically speaking, dead, but later on, they gain life. How? So that we work with his we have to feel it, he's dead or not. I'm not going to go with this machine of yours, which is a scanning machine into the brains and see whatever. Okay, you do whatever you like. But for me, I can't bury him until I make sure that he's dead. With myself, as an ummiya. What is ummiya? I don't know you're scanning, brother. It's good, I could be a doctor as well, scanning and everything, but I need to what? To use the ummiya. No calculation. I have to feed him. He's dead, he's dead. In the Quran, we find Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about the earth flat. And we know, scientifically speaking, the earth is what? Sphere. We're not negating that. We're not negating the spheres, we're negating it. Okay. But the Quran did not come to emphasize the earth is a sphere or not. Some of the people, they want to twist now, the Quran did not come to support arguments like this, or negate arguments like this. It did not come to show that the sun is rotating and the earth is rotating. It did not come for these facts. It came for Tawheed. Do you understand that? For taking the people from the kufr to Islam. So stop this word scientifically speaking. We need to sight the moon. Now, unfortunately, we don't have sighting the moon in this country. And we need to have the Muslim Empire to be one country. In China, they sight the moon. That's it. Every person after that, it was China, the Muslim country, of course. And after that, even the ones who have 12 hours or more in difference in time, later on, once they have a day, that's the first day. So the China ones got after that, and India and all of that, and Arabian, okay, they'll have the first day of Ramadan then, the ones who comes later on the day afterwards in America, that's the following day will be Ramadan. We wish to have that, but we don't have that. But we don't want as well, if we have this disunity, we don't want to have the disunity in the same country itself. In some of the Muslim countries, we have 3 Ramadans. In Pakistan, the north Ramadan, the middle Ramadan, the south Ramadan. You have first North Eid, Middle Eid. I'm not joking. That's what's happening. 3 sightings, 3 different days in one country. How much do we need to have a split in our Eid, in our Ramadan? How much? We're already split in the hearts. Now we're split as well into the madhab. We're split as well into the moon sighting. And not a long time ago, we were split in the prayer to 4 prayers in the haram. Each madhab, he prays behind his imam. So, and we're claiming that we have unity. No, that's not the unity we want. That's an unhealthy unity. Prophet ﷺ, also from his etiquette in the month of Ramadan, he would make sure that he would delay his pre-dawn meal and had as well hasten his breaking of the fast. And we need to know the practical sunnah in postponing or delaying the pre-dawn meal and also hastening the breakfast. What is the practical sunnah of implementing this? The Prophet of Allah, he had a number of mu'adhin, callers of the adhan. Abu Mahdura in Mecca, Sa'd al-Qirr, and he had as well Bilal radiallahu anhu. And later on he put Ibn Maktoum. Bilal radiallahu anhu, he used to make the adhan of the Fajr, the real Fajr. So what is the real Fajr? You have 2 Fajr. Fajr is called the Fajr al-Sadiq, the true Fajr, and al-Fajr al-Kadhib, the untrue Fajr. The true Fajr and the untrue Fajr, they have 3 differences amongst them. The true Fajr, Prophet ﷺ said, قال يأتي معترضا. True Fajr is معترض. So when you look at the east, that's where the sun rises, you'll find the Fajr is a strip of light, strip of dome light, whiteness, and it comes from south to north. That's called معترض. Whereas the untrue Fajr, it comes mustatir. Mustatir from west to east. It's like vertical. That's the first difference. Second difference, that the true Fajr, when it comes, it's followed by another whiteness. So whiteness goes, another whiteness comes, so the darkness will be pushed away. Whereas the untrue Fajr, it is followed by darkness from this side and darkness from this side. There is no whiteness. The true Fajr, the third difference, is when it comes, there is no disconnection between it and the horizon. The untrue Fajr, there is a disconnection between it, pitch darkness, between it, the vertical one, and the horizon. So those are the three differences between the true and the untrue Fajr. Bilal radiallahu anhu, who used to make the adhan of Fajr, and a number of times he made mistakes. So the Prophet ﷺ, one day he was eating his pre-dawn meal, and he called Abu Yahya, Shayban, come eat. He's a messenger of Allah. I intend to fast. He said to him, well, I intend to fast as well, because he thought that Bilal made the adhan, he had to stop. So I intend to fast. Don't worry about this adhan. It's got something wrong with his eye. So the Prophet ﷺ is saying, Bilal got something wrong with his eye. He made the Fajr before the Fajr. Then he did it again. And the Prophet ﷺ, he commanded him, when he did it again, to make an adhan after his adhan. Ala inna al-abda nam, ala inna al-abda nam. Verily the slave had slept, the slave had slept. That means he's what? Declaring to the people that I slept, sorry, I made a mistake. Imagine them what the Nabi said, wrong adhan. You could tell him, make another again. I am wrong, I am wrong. Why did he tell him to do that? What's the point? Because if you pray the Fajr, your Fajr is what? Batil, invalid. If you have stopped eating food because you think it's to abstain, no, carry on eating. That's why he told him what? To declare that he's wrong is wrong. After these mistakes, Prophet of Allah, he employs a blind man to call the Fajr. And he makes Bilal to call the Fajr, which is not important. That is the Adhan al-Layl, the night. So the Prophet ﷺ, he says, لا يغرنكم أذان بلال. Don't be deceived by Adhan Bilal. For verily he's got something wrong with his eye. Another narration, don't be worried about the Adhan Bilal. For verily he makes the Adhan during the night. Meaning what? There is nothing attached to it, religiously speaking. Meaning, you don't have to worry about it because you can't really do Fajr. And also you don't have to stop your food. So what is that adhan for? Wake you up. It's like an alarm. Wake up, get ready, get ready. That's what it is. Until this comes down and then the other person comes up. So he says, Kulu washrabu. So the Prophet said, don't be deceived by the adhan of Bilal. For when he makes an adhan during the night in order the person is asleep to wake up, so eat and drink. Come on, eat and drink until that one comes down, the other one climbs up, and then he makes the adhan. Who is the one who's going to come up? The blind man. The one who can't see the Fajr. So how is he going to feel the Fajr? He's going to feel the Fajr because there are people who are assigned with him to watch and also the passing by. When they pass by, they see the Fajr. So the Fajr now had been decided not one person, which could be a mistake, by what? A group of people. So why is the Prophet of Allah wants to do that? Because he wants you to delay the sahur as much as possible. And it's important. It's so important to delay the sahur that if you are eating your meal and the adhan which indicates that true Fajr, which you have to stop eating and drinking, Prophet of Allah said, don't stop. That's a command. Don't stop. Until you what? Until you satisfaction. And this is accorded like a remedy. Prophet of Allah is totally speaking from divine. You remember the Bedouin man when he came to the masjid and he was urinating, the companions came, oh, what are you doing? What? Somebody's going to punch him. Prophet will take it easy. Don't cut off his urine. You know if you cut off your urine when a person is urinating, that might cause illness. Ask the doctors. Sudden, cut. So let him finish. And after he finished, bring what? A bucket of water. Who amongst us can do that? We wouldn't. We listen to the hadith. If I see somebody, I can't hold myself to go and beat him up. But this is the Prophet ﷺ. Don't cut it. So here the Prophet of Allah also said, if the mu'adhin is being called and you are eating, don't stop. Imagine that you're eating the best apple pie that you want to eat. And you are in the middle of it. And then it comes and then the morsels and tuck into your throat. And these guys, they tell you, go and fish it, bring it, put a fork and dig it out. And then you'd be sick all day, not just because of the throat, because of you thinking about the apple pie which you couldn't really finish. Prophet of Allah said, finish it. Finish your drink. Finish that food. Take 2-3 minutes, it doesn't matter. Finish your food. That's the sunnah. Which is more tolerance. This is the sunnah, or the one who says, dig it out. Even bring your life out with it. Kill yourself as long as you take it out. Otherwise, you're going to break your fast. Which is the sunnah? What is the one which is more samih, more tolerant, more easier? Prophet of Allah, if he's been given a choice between two things, he will choose the one which is easier, as long as it is not haram. So the Prophet ﷺ taught us that the sunnah, to wipe over the sock. These people say, no, it has to be leather, double-sided as well. Make sure it's unpenetrable, bulletproof. What's this? Prophet ﷺ, he said, the socks. And the socks, it could be any socks. Companions had socks what? Wrapped. Or wrapped. Now these people, no, they have to be double thickness. Maybe as well what? Bought from such and such, it have to be standing on its own. You could stand like this, it's so powerful. And then you could wipe on top of them. What is the sunnah? Where is the sunnah? Which one is easy? The sunnah of Muhammad ﷺ, the sunnah of those people, making this feel so tough to the people. Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. It is easier than that. So he said to the man, come and eat, for there is something wrong with his eye. The Fajr could see, it is not Fajr. So the Prophet ﷺ tells us to delay our pre-dawn meal. Practical way of doing it is that if you have a timetable in your masajid, one says 3 o'clock, you stop food, or one's 3:05, stop the food, then you stop with the one 3:05. One says 1:20, like something like that, and one says 2:30, you go with the 2:30, not the 1:20. And don't do precaution in Majid. There is a bid'ah to stop 20 minutes, 15 minutes, 10 minutes before the adhan. You stop on the adhan. The last minute, give that water. Khalas. No. Alhamdulillah, I'm ready. That's the last thing. That's how the practical sunnah of doing it. Then we come to the breaking of the fast. Hasten the breaking of the fast. To hasten the breaking of the fast is that the Prophet ﷺ, he said, if the sun disk disappears, then فَقَدْ أَفْطَرَ الصَّائِمُ. And there are indications that signs for that sun to disappear is that the daylight from that side, which is the west side, will disappear, and the night pitched of darkness will come on the other side, which is the eastern side. Those are the signs for the disk to disappear. So you have the upper portion of the disk and the lower portion of the disk. If the upper portion of the disk had disappeared in the horizon, then the fasting person would have broken his fast. So if you didn't have anything to eat, just with his intention, it's enough. If you didn't have anything to eat, you have to break the fast. So you have your intention to break the fast. Now, Prophet ﷺ, he would command somebody to go on somebody to stand up on something a bit high. So if, for example, we are here, somebody would go on top of that, for example, the stairs there, or where they're going to the toilet in order to see for the sun. Okay? Just to go ala makan nashes, as the hadith says, nashes, a bit high, to see. But he will not command him to go and climb a mountain. Because the person who's in the mountain, he has a different level of the person who's in the valley. Each one has got his own horizon. And each person has got his own sun setting. The sun setting for me is different from the one who lives on the 11th floor in one of these buildings in Luton. I think there's one building, 11th floor, 12th floors, yeah? Because somebody said, brothers, don't eat, don't break the fast. For verily I was on the 11th floor of such and such building. Here in this masjid. I could see the sun, brother, but you keep to your fast, inshallah. On the 11th floor, we are going to break our fast here in different masjid, you see, different level. You do it for if you want. And if you want to phone somebody who's another building in London, is higher as well. The sun for him is still there. You wait for him as well another 5 minutes. Between us and London, in terms of breaking of the fast, more than 5 minutes. You know that? More than 5 minutes. I'm going to wait for London is going to wait for us? No, they're not going to wait for us. They're different level. They're different level. Higher is different level. Each one has got his own horizon. So 11th floor, maybe you are now with equivalent with Scotland. So you fast with Scotland, even though you're in Luton. So imagine now you're in Burj Al Arab in Dubai. It's 1 mile away. 1 mile. That's about more than 10 minutes difference between the one on the top and the one on the bottom. So the one on the bottom, he wants to break his fast. Now he's going to call somebody. Oh, salam alaikum. Sun is there. Yeah, sun is there. For me, the sun is finished. Well, mine is not. So is he to wait? Is he to wait? No. And the one on the top, he has to phone the one who's in the helicopter passing by. You can see the sun? Yeah, of course I see the sun. And on the helicopter, you make a phone in the spaceship. Can you see the sun? Yes, well, the sun in 24 hours does not set in my place. He's outside the universe now. He's outside the galaxy. The sun is not going to, the sun I could see 24 hours. No sunset for him. What do people think about? Allah understand. If you are traveling in the lift, that's the problem. Stop the lift and break according to the level that you stop. Because each level has different sets of times, you know that? Each level of this building has a different time. They put it, they have Jazakumullahu khairan in the lift. That it is such and such floor, such and such floor. That's their time for breaking the fast. Such and such floor, such and floor. So, but if you're going up and down the lift, during that time, stop the lift. And you may not decrease your time of fasting by going the lift. So the pump on the top goes down in order to break his fast quickly. Do you understand that? As that Sheikh Ibn Baz was asked by somebody who was a pilot, air pilot. Sheikh, is it permissible for us, because we could really, change our altitude and make the sun set for us and eat, earlier by 5 minutes? Can we do that? He said, no. But if it happened to be that you've been changed altitude because of the tower, they told you to go to a different level and you didn't see the sun, you break the fast. But for the intention of breaking the fast, you shouldn't do that. Because you might have something else as well wrong, and you go up. And then when you go up, and you saw the sun, you've lost the day. Whereas, if you've gone by not intentionally to break the fast, even if you had seen the sun after that, no problem. So that it is, alhamdulillah, no problem. If you're in a car, stop your car during that time and break your fast, because you might go on top of a hill, you might see the sun, or down, and not see the sun. So, in the level, see the sun, horizon is there, sun is disappeared, break your fast. Don't worry. Break your fast and be courageous, because some people, have been all day fasting, all these 19 hours, can't they just wait another 5 minutes? And after the 5 minutes, extra 5 minutes. Because you've been fasting all day, another half an hour to make it short. And he doesn't know that he's doing against the Prophet ﷺ's hadith. لا تزال أمتي لا يزال الناس بخير لا يزال الدين ظاهرا. Let's speak his hadith. لا تزال أمتي بخير. Ummah is upon khair. لا يزال الناس بخير. All the people are upon khair. لا يزال الدين ظاهرا. The religion is going to supersede all religions. The powerful religion. ما لم تؤخر أمتي فطرها. As long as my ummah does not delay their breaking of the fast. Or they wait until the stars. When the stars appears, like the Shia, the Rafidah, they wait until half an hour, or half an hour after Maghrib. We don't do like that. Break your fast soon. So the Prophet ﷺ, as soon as he saw the sun had disappeared, Bilal, come down and make us food. Make us food. And Bilal is begging the Prophet of Allah, just about 5 minutes to be filled with the sun said, make food. So when he made the food, he said, by the one in whose hand is my soul. If one of us had to go on top of his mountain, which is his camel, to look for the sun, he would have seen the sun. Of course he will not see the sun. But the sun was just set, just disappeared. And regardless how powerful you are, even if you had a trampoline to jump, you will not be able to see it. It disappears quickly. The horizon is too far. So this is how the sunnah, the practical sunnah of applying this, is that when the mu'adhan is about to make the adhan, we tell the mu'adhan who is asleep, we tell the mu'adhan, that is, break your fast before the adhan. That's the practical sunnah of hastening the break of the fast. So the mu'adhan is breaking his fast, and he's eating. I'm a person looking at him. Do I need to wait for his adhan? No, I'm going to eat. That's a practical sunnah of implementing how to hasten the breaking of the fast. Right? Now the mu'adhan is going to start into that. I used to say before, as soon as the mu'adhan says, then break it. Now maybe one day it happened actually, he said, and he was actually coughing, clearing his throat. So, no, wait until he says, Allahu Akbar. So I want to make sure, because, you learn by the years, you change your mind. And actually, he was doing. So, he's trying to make sure that he's got a good voice. So we want you to say, Allahu Akbar. As you make that adhan, khalas, break the fast. Alhamdulillah. Now that you have practical sunnah, and Abdullah ibn Umar, he had taken the sunnah of how to delay his breaking of the delaying, pre-dawn meal by having two people looking for the horizon, for the dawn. If one of them said, still, the dawn is not on, and the other one said, yes, he still eats, doesn't care. Until either two says, we could see the dawn. So it's a principle. كُلْ مَا شَكَرْتَ حَتَّى تَرَشُكْ. Eat as much as you can, as long as you are in doubt, the fajr is on or not, until you have no doubt that the fajr is on. Then you stop. So, this is now how the Prophet ﷺ had done and spent the month of Ramadan. Prophet ﷺ, he used to use the siwak. The siwak in the morning, in the afternoon, and in the evening. And I'm saying this because some of the fiqh says that after the afternoon, don't use it. Why? Because you're going to take away the stinky smell out of your mouth, and the stinky smell is better than the fragrance of musk with Allah. That's a wrong understanding. Because the Prophet of Allah, and also Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when He commanded us to fast, is not telling us to rot our teeth. You see, the bad smell that comes out is not because of a rotten teeth or dirty teeth. It's coming because of an empty stomach. That empty stomach, it would release that bad odor, regardless of how much you make a toothbrush, and regardless of how much you do the siwak, still that comes out. So Allah is saying to us, this smell which you have no power to resist, you have no power to get rid of, don't worry about it. It's better with Allah than the fragrance of the mosque. But it doesn't mean, oh people, stink your mouths as much as possible in order to make it as good as the fragrance of the mosque. No. So you use the siwak, Prophet of Allah, he made the siwak. When? Number one, he used to recite Quran. Number two, when he makes the dua. Number three, when he goes to the masjid. Number four, when he goes to the prayer. Number five, to do the wudu. Number six, when he enters the house. Number seven, when his mouth changes the smell. He would use the siwak. Siwak is practical. Toothbrush is not practical. You can't be having a toothpaste in your pocket and a toothbrush all the time you want to, clean. You can take the toothpaste. And toothpaste does not make you fast. I don't recommend it. But it does not make you fast unless you're eating it, swallow it. If you spit it out, don't worry about the flavor which is left, the fluoride. Wallahu a'lam. From the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ in the month of Ramadan is that the Prophet ﷺ would be even extra generous, extra tolerant, extra merciful. He is merciful all the year, generous all the year. He spends all the year. But in the month of Ramadan, he's extra. With his wife, extra patient. Because the person is, hungry, he might be getting angry. Do you understand that? True. When you're hungry, you might get angry very easily. Hungry and angry, very close. So, that is why the Prophet ﷺ, he was patient. Why? Because he called this month the month of patience. Man sama shahr al-sabr. He who fasts the month of patience. And 3 days of every month is like he fasted the entire year. And Allah says, إِنَّمَا يُوَفَّى الصَّابِرُونَ أَجْرَهُمْ بِغَيْرِ حِسَابٍ. Those who are the patient will be given their rewards without any accountants. And if it is the case, then fasting in the month of Ramadan, you are included in this. You will be given your reward in no accountants. It's just an abundance. So the Prophet ﷺ also takes this month of the month of jihad. Jihad, and I'm not just talking jihad against whims and desire. No, jihad against the enemies. 6 of his battles, they were in the month of Ramadan. And if the companions are going to the enemies on a journey, then they have the choice to break the fast or not. But if they are about to meet the enemy, they must break the fast. In order to be ready for the enemies, in order to be concentrating on the enemies, in order to have nothing to divert their intention or their concentration from attacking the enemies and making a proper impact. Well, yet we find that the people, they make jihad in sleeping. They sleep all day. They only wake up for the food. And after the food, they will make qiyam of Hollywood films until they're knackered and sleep all day. And then they wake them up, food again. And this is the whole of the month of Ramadan. And after all of that, they would say, wow, it was a very difficult month. Well, difficult in what way? You've been sleeping all the month. How can it be difficult? You've been sleeping, waking up for food, sleeping, waking up for food, sleeping, waking up for food. That's jihad. Yes, maybe he couldn't really make as much money as possible because he was sleeping all day. That's maybe was difficult for him. But not difficult, that's what is difficult. Prophet of Allah is to make jihad. So the month of Ramadan should not be a month of laziness. No, you do what you do, the work. But you don't really exert too much effort because you don't want as well to lose your day. So this is the Prophet ﷺ also, he spends the month of Ramadan in reciting the Quran, and he does the revision with the Jibreel ﷺ every Ramadan. Prophet of Allah, he fasted 9 Ramadans. From the year 2 after Hijrah until the year 11 after Hijrah. Ramadan after Ramadan. 9 Ramadans he's done. And the Prophet of Allah would revise the Quran with Jibreel ﷺ every Ramadan. In the year that he died, he revised the Quran twice. And that's why he told his daughter Fatima, I think I'm about to leave, I'm used to die. Because Jibreel ﷺ, he came to me twice this year. So this is the month of the Quran. The month of the Quran, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he says, شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن. شهر Ramadan, where the Quran is revealed. هدى للناس وبينات من الهدى والفرقان. Now this is the revelation he's talking about, different from the revelation إِنَّا أَنزَلْنَاهُ فِي لَيْلَةِ الْقَدْرِ. Verily we have revealed it in the night of Al-Qadr. Because this revelation, إِنَّا أَنزَلْنَاهُ, we have revealed the Quran in the night of Al-Qadr, he's talking about the first revelation. Oh, there is a second revelation, yes. First revelation, which is the whole of the Quran, came down from the preserved tablet to the Bayt al-Izzah, which is in the nearest heaven, and that happened in the night of Al-Qadr. When is the night of Al-Qadr? It's in the last 10 nights of Ramadan. Whether they're even or they're odd. We don't know which night it is. Some people try to prove it to be the 29th. Don't listen to these people. Person comes on the channels, and the problem is the channels. So bring these people from nowhere. They bring them from the gap, one after the other. How many want to tackle? We don't know. They really make this task for the da'iyah, for the scholars, to teach the people 100 years difficult, more difficult for us to teach the people. They come, I had been watching the night of Al-Qadr with my digital cameras which I bought, and I got a team, and I got a camera which is complicated to really calculate how much frame per second to see, and the sun, and then with, mashallah, the following day the sun has no rays, with this camera you could see, and this camera will tell you the digital things, that there's no rays here, and it happened to be every 29th of every month. Who had seen this? Put your finger up. Come on. Yeah. Come on. You've seen it. Jazakallah. He's an Arab. Was it translated? Was it an Arab or?
No, it's English.
Oh, he's talking in English. Maybe the Arab took it from English as well. It's an Arab channel of an Arab person with a beard. It's not a big beard. Looks like paint. And Allah al-Musta'an. And he says, 29th, brothers, don't do anything except for 29th. So this person is telling them, don't do Qiyam or Ramadan. 29th. Don't sleep. And it doesn't change. Don't listen to the people. Scholars will change. They say, for example, it's 1 year it goes this and 1 year goes that. It's 29th. And the Prophet of Allah, which night did he emphasize? 27th. So now he's coming with something else. So this man is emphasizing a different night, 29th. Don't go into 29th. Nobody go. Allahul Musta'an. And then he says, 1 rak'ah in that night is equivalent to 30,000 rak'ah. Ya Allahu Akbar. And it's a religious program. True, the Prophet he said, أَخْوَفُ مَا أَخَافُ عَلَى أُمَّتِي إِلَّا إِمَّةُ الْمُضِلُّ. The most I fear against my ummah, regarding my ummah, those imams, calling them imam, that means one on the TV, or one on the internet, that they are misguided. And they misguide others. Oh. How can we now, these people have been watching, thousands of people this person, how can we convince them? Brother, you don't have as good camera as him. Why don't we believe him? And those people who believe these people, most of them even they don't really pray maybe. As long as these people tease the mashayikh, the shuyukh, the religious scholars, they will follow. So this person called Adnan Ibrahim, some of the Europe people there, from the Arabs, they follow him. This person is actually ignorant, mubtadi' qal, undercover Shi'i, Rafidi, pretend to be a Sunni. And lots of people follow him. So the brother, he was there in Europe, he told me, he said, the one who wants to say to me, this person is good, I want him to be a person from the people who pray. None of them pray. So all of these people who follow him, the ones who what? Do not pray. Why they follow him? Because they find in him something, a new thing, that he's actually climbing onto the mountains and bringing them down. Bukhari, don't listen to him, Sahih Bukhari. Muslim, forget about him. Why should we look at them with a... So this guy is a new thing for them, so they like it. Wal-iyadu billah. They're climbing on our men, on our principles. Those are the ones whom have given us the deen with the blood, the companions, Imam Bukhari, Imam Muslim, all these scholars. Bukhari, forget about Bukhari. Bukhari's got lots of hadith not right. A'udhu billah. Shayateen, but not shayateen al-jinn, shayateen al-ins. They're loose even during Ramadan. They're not locked up. They're not from the jinn. The shayateen amongst mankind are still there, deviating people day and night. They'll never stop. The month of Ramadan, which has been revelation in the second ayah, شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن. This is the second revelation. Second revelation was within 23 years. That is the lifetime of the Prophet of Allah in Da'wah. 13 in Mecca, 10 in Medina. Started with the first 5 verses of Surah Al-Alaq. اقرأ باسم ربك الذي علق خلق الإنسان من علق. These 5 verses were revealed in Cave Hira. And they were revealed on Monday. And they were revealed when the Prophet ﷺ was 40 years old. And they were revealed on the 24th night of Ramadan. Prophet ﷺ, he said, the scroll of Ibrahim, they were revealed on the first night of Ramadan. That means all the revelations were in the month of what? Ramadan. The Torah of Musa alayhi salam was revealed on the 6th night of Ramadan. The Injil of Isa alayhi salam was revealed on the 13th night of Ramadan. The Zabur of Prophet Dawood alayhi salam was revealed on the 18th night of Ramadan. And the Quran was revealed on the 24th night of Ramadan. It's hadith sahih. So all the revelation were in the month of what? Ramadan. The first 5 verses by which the Prophet of Allah became a prophet, اقرأ باسم ربك الذي خلق, it came in the month of Ramadan, the 24th night. Is the 24th night from the night of the Qadr? I said the night of the Qadr in the last 10 nights. Whether it's even or odd. Make the Qiyam in all of them. There is our emphasis on more nights that the odd from the beginning are odd. Because the Prophet of Allah ﷺ, he said, seek it, for example, in 5 nights left. 5 nights left. You know what's 5 nights? That means I have to measure from the end of Ramadan. 5 nights. If the Ramadan ended 30th, that means the 5 nights are 25th. If it's 29, it becomes what? 24th. So from the end is different. Well, from the beginning it could be, we know they are. But from the end, depending upon what? The ending of Ramadan. Is it 30 days or is it 29 days? So all the nights, even an odd, you start making, that is your effort, shambir. As the Prophet ﷺ, detach yourself from the wives and sit for the qiyam for that night. The night of Qadr is khayrun min alfi shahr. Better than 1,000 months. After this, we say that the Prophet ﷺ told us of the tasks to do in the month of Ramadan: fasting, charity, and recitation of the Quran. Stop all types of backbiting and evil, will scratch your morality, scratch your fast spiritually, and the Umrah. And this is the best of all deeds. The Umrah is including everything. All these good deeds that I've said is in the Umrah. On top of that, you make an Umrah. But I have to emphasize, there is no difference between the Umrah in the beginning, or the middle, or the end. Do you understand that? So the Umrah in the beginning is equivalent in terms of reward to the middle, equivalent in terms of reward to the end. That is, if you make Umrah in Ramadan, it's like making Hajj with the Prophet ﷺ. In the Umrah, you could do the i'tikaf, which is i'tikaf with the consensus of all scholars, because i'tikaf in this masjid of the masajid is ikhtilaf. But the consensus is to make i'tikaf in the Haram, or Medina, or Jerusalem, Masjid al-Aqsa. So make i'tikaf there, and the Prophet of Allah made i'tikaf in all nights of Ramadan. He made it some in the middle, he made it at the beginning, he made them in the middle, and he made what? And he made i'tikaf 10 nights in the beginning, 10 nights in the middle, 10 nights at the end. And the year that he died, he made i'tikaf 20 nights. 20 nights. So the Prophet ﷺ, he made i'tikaf. And in the i'tikaf is i'tikaf, meaning that you are making i'tikaf to set yourself away from the dunya, to set yourself close to Allah by making this qiyam, by making this recitation of the Quran, by making contemplation with the deen and the iman. Well, we find people now these days in their i'tikaf, they bring their mobiles and they bring their iPads and they start going to WhatsApping and Vipering. Brother, go on Viper and WhatsApp in your house. No WhatsApp and Viper in i'tikaf. I'tikaf is not for Vipering and WhatsApping, please. And don't give yourself an excuse of reading Quran from the WhatsApp, from the mobile. Because lots of Qurans, use them. Lots of Masahif, use them. Don't use a mobile. The mobile will tempt you. As soon as you go to the mobile, you know how much of your time has been taken. When I look at my WhatsApp to go and answer the questions and do these things, in the morning I do them after Fajr. Wallahi, oof, it's an hour and a half, 2 hours. It's gone from my time. Answering this and doing this and answering this and doing this and answering, and then 2 hours. So I imagine now that I'm in my i'tikaf. You know some of the brothers now, we talk to them. The wives, they are on the mobile, the smartphone, they're chatting up. Musta'an, Allah Musta'an. So the wife is there and the husband is there. Oh, no communication, why are you going to bring your son through Bluetooth? Allah Musta'an. And I'm just saying the wives, please, to put that phone on side there. So if you want to go to i'tikaf, take the phone, put it somewhere, lock it up, and come to the masjid. And if you want emergency, through the masjid, not through your own mobile. I'm telling you, this is the best way of i'tikaf. If you make i'tikaf in this masjid, and you believe that the opinion of making i'tikaf in the masjid is correct, no problem, but this is an advice for you, that is not to take mobiles with you. And for me, as the i'tikaf is the masjid al-haram, that's the i'tikaf. I'tikaf is to the fasting, and the i'tikaf is called as well condition to come in and come out. And you can't go out except if it is darura. And you make i'tikaf where there is a Jumu'ah there. If you are from those who are adapting the opinion, you can make i'tikaf outside the 3 masajid. Make sure that the masjid has got Jumu'ah in it, so you don't come out from the masjid to another masjid. By this, alhamdulillah, we conclude. I haven't talked about the things to do with the traveling and the breastfeeding women and the old men and the chronical illness and non-chronical illness and the zakat al-fitr and talking about all the invalidators and all of that. It will be Wednesday, inshallah. So the second section for this tonight is just how we need to spend the month of Ramadan and to make it as close as possible to the sunnat waladi Adnan Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Allahu musta'an. Now,
regarding the name Suhaib, if you're eating and the adhan goes on, some people say you have to finish what you have in your hand, not between the eat, take only what you have. The hadith saying.
yeah. And the question is that if the person, he's got, for example, a bottle of water, and the adhan is coming on, that if this bottle of water, for example, has got this much, then you finish this, that's all, and you have. Or if it's got a little bit, then you have to stick with it. How can you encounter this argument? Of course, this argument is wrong. So let's say my bottle is like this. Mashallah is full. According to him, he says you have to finish the one you got. Okay, brother, I've got mashallah this jug. I'm going to take my time. It's my jug. Mashallah. See, that's the entire the argument is finished. And if it's like little, I can't go to the other one. What is he talking about? Take your satisfaction. حتى حَتَّى يَقْضِيَ حَاجَتَهُ. It doesn't say until you finish what you got in your hand. Your satisfaction. So the satisfaction, brother, is not the job. It could be a bit of the job, khalas, it's satisfaction. But you say, no, alhamdulillah, I started with my job, I'm going to finish it. So everybody now, give it the adhan, you hold a big job. You will take half an hour until he finishes, according to the understanding of that person. What is he talking about? Until you finish your satisfaction. And Allah knows. So you're not going to go extra 1, 2, 3 minutes, khalas, finish. You go from this to this, no problem, inshallah. Now.
The Prophet revised the Quran. Does that mean there's preferences for revision or just reading for the one who or better revise the Quran for what you memorize? Focus on that.
The Quran is open for you to what you decide you want to read. It's from memorization or something new verses. It's up to you. You are the one who is to decide. There's no such thing that give you preference. So each person, he wants to do a revision. Some people want to do not a revision. No problem. This is called ta'ahud. تعاهدوا هذا القرآن وتغنوا به. That is, make sure that you are making your recitation beautiful. That is, زينوا هذا القرآن بأصواتكم. Beautify this Quran with your voices. And تعاهدوه all the time to read it. فإنه والذي نفسي بيده أشد تفلدا من الصدور من العقل من الإبل في عقلها. He comes out of your chest, so fast away from it, just like the camel comes away from its tether. He unties himself and he goes, just like the camel. And the camel, the big people, they know that. So this is the Quran. So you have to really keep reciting it in order to keep it inside, in order to keep it in your memory. Now, so it's up to you.
The hadith where you pray with the Imam, says that you pray all night long. After you pray with the Imam, is it recommended then to do further tahajjud?
Is the person who prayed with the Imam recommended to do further tahajjud? We say, as people who are following the haqq, خير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. The best of the guidance is the guidance of Muhammad صلى الله عليه وسلم. Anybody's got a doubt about that? So the best of guidance is the guidance of Muhammad. Can anybody be better than the Prophet Muhammad صلى الله عليه وسلم? Okay. Can he be any better in terms of taqwa than the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم? Okay. So the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم, if he wants to tell us that this ibadah is open, he either would say it in his saying, or at least once in his life he will do it. So for example, Siyam Dawood, which is fast a day and break the following day. Prophet of Allah said it to be the best of the fast, yet he did not do it. But it is okay to do it? Yes, because he what? He said it. Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he never prayed the witr less than 7 rak'ah. Can we do it less than 7 rak'ah? Yes, because the Prophet of Allah, he said you could do what? 1 rak'ah. See? So we've got two examples which is opposite. Two examples which is opposite. One, which he said didn't do, and one he did, which he didn't say. So these examples to tell you that if the Prophet of Allah had prayed the 11 rak'ah, more than 11 rak'ah, he would have either said it or he would have done it. And he hasn't done it. So if you've done 11 rak'ah, this is what the Prophet ﷺ said to the companions who want to pray more. You know the background of the history of your qiyam or taraweeh, that the Prophet of Allah prayed taraweeh only 3 nights. 23rd, 25th, 27th. That's it. 29th did not come out. The 23rd, when he prayed for the very first time, he came out, he usually prays his witr in his house. So he opened the door, came out, prayed the witr. People prayed behind him. 24th night did not come out. 25th he came out, those people who wanted the 23rd, he pulled other people. He said, you salah. They made the prayer with the Prophet ﷺ. 25th, finished. 26th did not come out. 27th, the masjid was full. Full. So, Prophet ﷺ, he led them in the prayer. 11 rak'ah again. MashaAllah, until really late. So the companion said, Messenger of Allah, لو نفلتنا حتى الفلاح, you could just keep praying until the Fajr. So the Prophet ﷺ, he said to him as a solution, من قام مع الإمام حتى ينصرف كتب له قيام. He who stands up with the Imam until he finishes is like he's been praying all night. He's telling them there's no need to add, because he's like, you're praying all night, go to sleep. Yeah. MashaAllah, alhamdulillah, and he's like, you've been praying all night. But you have to pray until the Imam is what? Is finished, from the beginning to the end. So now we have a masjid which does two types of prayer. The beginning and at the end. This is not from the Sunnah, by the way, to have a masjid, to have to do prayers. It's only one, supposedly. But let's say a masjid is doing it. I do have a choice now. Either the one at the beginning, or the one at the end. You could have. The one at the end is better, it's 11 rak'ah. But, if you're going to miss 2 rak'ah from the one at the end, but you could do the one at the beginning in the full, then the one which is the one who's doing it in full, 11 rak'ah, altogether, is better than the one who does 10 of that, or 8 of that in the morning, even it's later, okay? But it's not in full. Because that one, it will not be recorded as being praying all night. Or this one, all night, even he goes to sleep. Alhamdulillah. لا تشددوا على أنفسكم فيشدد الله عليكم. Don't go extreme against yourself, Allah will go against you extreme. And we know that. People go extreme in their religion, they leave extreme. That's a fact. One who goes extreme, leave extreme, straight away. So, توسطوا. اكلفوا من العبادات ما تطيقون. Take from the ibadah what you are capable of. And don't do like Abdullah ibn Amr ibn al-As, who had regretted everything. When he came to the Prophet ﷺ, he asked him about the fast. He asked him about the Quran. Prophet ﷺ gave him advice. 3 days a month. I've got power. Okay? Then fast Monday and Thursday. I've got power. Okay, fast 2 days, break 2 days. I've got power. And then the best of the fast the Dawood. Fast the day, break the following day. Messenger of Allah, the Quran, recited once a month. I've got power. Once a week. I've got power. Okay, once every 3 days. I've got power. You can't understand it in less than 3 days. So he kept now doing every 3 days the whole Quran. And every day breaks and the following day he fasts. He couldn't cope. And later when he got a bit older, he said, I wish I listened to the Prophet ﷺ, because he was not able to do even the minimum of that. I wish I was listening to the Prophet ﷺ. I said, Abdullah ibn Amr al-As. You can be like, no way. Then I'll be like Abdullah ibn Amr al-As. So, you know that you want to do the ibadah which you are capable of. Prophet ﷺ's ibadah was described by Aisha. It was little, but kind of dima. What is dima? Consistent. Consistent. 3 days of the month the Prophet only fasts. 3 days. And that's the wasiyah for Abu Dharr radiallahu anhu. 3 days of the month. 3 days. And the best of the days, of course, Ayyamul Bid. Not Al-Ayyamul Bid, Ayyamul Bid. And those are the nights, 13th, 14th, and 15th, when the moon will be full. When the moon is full, the nights are called white nights. And the days are attributed to it. So, Ayyamul Layal Bid. The days of the white nights. But people, they call them Al-Ayyamul Bid, the white days. No, they're not the white days. The days are always white anyway. The sun is there. It's just the days of the white night. Those are the best nights. But if you don't, you could do any 3 days. As long as you avoid Saturday, according to the scholars who say Saturday is only for the obligation. Now, uncle. Uncles first before you.
Two questions, Sheikh. One,
Hold on.
you said Wednesday we are going to have some Tarawih will be on Wednesday.
Wednesday, we're going to have Taraweeh. Are we going to have the Taraweeh, uncle, starts after Isha, isn't it? Yes. So it's going to be, our class finishes by Maghrib. Isn't it true, uncle? So between Maghrib and Isha, there is no Taraweeh, is there? So we're going to finish by Maghrib, so the class still there, and inshallah we'll be talking about Ramadan. Bi-idhnillah. Second question?
Second question, I attended the nikah this 2 or 3 days ago.
No.
Bridegroom was in France. The bride was in England. The bride has her wali, the imam, her father, and the bridegroom had a representative. And the nikah was performed with the representative and not with the bridegroom. Is that allowed?
Is allowed to make nikah bil wakala by a deputy, a representative. It is allowed, as long as we can't really have the husband. But these days with technology, you could have wali, even with, mashallah, video link up, sorry, the groom, or if it was vice versa, that the marriage was taking place with the groom, and the bride are the ones who are to be linked up. So the person who's going to be linking up is the wali. Whether it's performed with the groom or the bridegroom, there is called something called representative. So the representative is if it is needed. But with the technology, as I said, these days, I could have it on the table, the person who's doing the nikah, I could just talk to the person, the groom, and at the same time talk to the who is next to him, that is the wali. And inshallah, the marriage will take place. And no problem about that. But if there was for example, a pregnancy 6 months after that, 6 months after that, so less than 6 months, the pregnancy happened in 6 months, and the lady hasn't traveled to the person who's there, and the journey takes more than 3 months to take place, then we say this is fornication. I'm saying this because the Sufis, they say, if a person had made marriage with representative on a woman who is in the east and he's in the west, and then the journey takes place between the two countries by 3 months at least, which is the mount or the camel or something like this, and then this woman, she gave birth after 6 months, and this is fornication. According to the Sufis, it's not fornication, because he could be from the people of the steppe, Ahlul Khutwa. One step from his here, and then that second one, he's with his wife. I'm bringing that as a joke for the people, that the Sufis, they have hilarious things. Now, follow. Yes, and the brother who asked it. Can I ask you to get closer?
Yeah, I would.
No, ask get closer. That's my condition.
Yeah.
Yes.
How about the recitation of the Quran from the mobile? What is the recommendation? Like somebody is saying there was an error in the Alif Lam Mim Sajda through the mobile. So what's the recommendation?
What is the Alif Lam Mim?
Reciting the Quran through the mobile. What is the recommendation? Like you say, that people, they shouldn't bring any change when they take off or they take Quran.
No, I said they should not bring the phone to the etiquette because they are busying themselves with those social nets, like Viper, and So instead of now coming to make etiquette, it makes to come to the, to the house, to the Masjid of Allah, the house of Allah, to go away from the house of his, because he wants to have more time for doing the business. So he's saying this is not really good, to start checking out the messages and text messages and start texting. That's not the etiquette purpose. That's what I'm just saying.
Recitation from the mobile?
Recitation from the mobile, no problem. The recitation from the mobile is no different from recitation from a piece of paper, from a piece of wood, no problem. Well, once you switch the Quran onto the mobile, the screen, then that mobile becomes like a mushaf. So I can't come to the toilet with that page shown. But if I take the page off and switch off the phone, or the phone does not show the Quran, then I could take the mobile with me to these places like the toilet and other places. Now, what time is the adhan before I go in? 26? I've got some time now.
You said if you start the Quran less than 3 days.
Am I sinned if I recite the Quran in less than 3 days? Well, the word should be, am I going to be against the sunnah of the Prophet of Allah? Yes, you are. So the word sinned or not sinned is difficult for me to say. It's like when somebody asks Sheikh Uthaymeen about, is it haram to do such a thing? He said, the tahrim sahab. I can't make tahrim, ya akhi. Haram. So I would just say it is opposite to the sunnah. So the Prophet of Allah told him, you're not going to understand the Quran in less than 3 days. Sheikh Al-Albani had listened to a tape. In those days there was tape recorders. There was not really MP3s and things like this. And tape recorder, it was, I remember it, half an hour from one side, so 30 minutes and 30 minutes, so full 60 minutes. In that Quran, it was in my bookshop, I had to present it to the Sheikh, and I made him to listen to it. In that, whole of the Quran was recited in 60 minutes. Whole of the Quran. And the recitation is as follows. This like this. So if you are a person who is reading from the Quran, maybe you'll follow it. Maybe you'll be able. And if you're not good in reading, you'll not be able to follow it. And he said this is called Mushaf al-Huffaz. That means if you have to be hafid, just to revise the whole of the Quran in what? 1 hour. Shaykh Al-Albani said, not allowed. So we have to not to sell it. This is not Quran. This is called hadayan. This is like it's not really respecting the Quran. Taghannu. You have to recite it with, with slowly and, beauty. Not to make it like this. Now. Follow.
I heard sometimes last Ramadan, it was said that if you prayed the 30 nights of Ramadan behind an imam in Taraweeh, you passed, I don't know if it was sins would be forgiven, or it was all your prayers that you missed that would be given qada. It will be forgiven.
If you fast 30 days of Ramadan?
No, if you pray Taraweeh behind an imam.
If you pray behind the Taraweeh, the Imam, you could be having the whole night is being written for you as Qiyam. There's no such thing that all your previous sins will be forgiven and all of that. But we say, Man qama Ramadan, imanan wa ihtisaban, ghufira lahu ma taqaddama min dhanbihi. He who had stood up the whole of Ramadan, in Qiyam, imanan, believing in it, wa ihtisaban, hoping for the reward. What is the opposite? You don't believe there's a reward like this, and you're not as well patient. So every time you're behind the Imam, you are bothered, you are reluctant to hear more verses from the Quran. You say to the Imam, come on, you make it shorter please. That's not going to get it. If you said it with patience, and you hope for the reward from Allah, then you'll have all your sins be forgiven, including whatever, we don't detail, all your sins will be forgiven. 26 has got 1 minute. So I'll give it to Abdul Qadir. Yeah.
What's the rule for a person who didn't make up their fast, and then the next Ramadan came and they didn't make up their fast? What's the rule?
If a person, he had a missed days and he did not make them before the following Ramadan, he has one of the two options, one of the two cases. Case number one, he didn't have time because he was in a battle all the time. A woman, she was pregnant all the time, and she had pregnancy to pregnancy, from pregnancy running to breastfeeding. She couldn't really make up for the days that she missed because of the period or because of the, you understand me? Then there's no problem. The second case, she had time or he had time, but he postponed it deliberately, then he is sinned and he has to do them. But there's no penalty to be paid. Of course, they are with him all the time. No such thing that you're going to be exempted from that. So you have to do them. Okay, so you have to do them regardless. They are like a debt. Yeah, a debt. Wallahu ta'ala a'lam. Subhanaka Allahumma bihamdik. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.